This inexpensive little alcohol cooker and heater can provide enough heat to keep a small room warm in an emergency, and you can cook food and heat liquids with it as well. The toilet paper roll inside the can acts as a wick. It keeps the flame at a constant height and reduces the risk of a fire if the unit is accidentally tipped over. It works well with either isopropyl or denatured alcohol, and the fumes it gives off are much less toxic than petroleum fuels, and my grandkids and I have fun roasting marshmallows over its mesmerizing flames. Without the 3-hole burner plate on top, it will burn through about 2.5 ounces per hour, or about 60 ounces per day, which works out to about a gallon every 2 days. When using the 3-hole burner plate on the low setting, with just 2 holes open, it burns through about 3/4 ounce of alcohol per hour, or 20 ounces per day of continual use. A gallon would last about 6.5 days. On this low setting, it will boil 16 ounces of water in about 25 minutes. On the high burner plate setting, it will boil 16 ounces of water in 9 minutes. And by flipping the pot support over, you can adjust the height of the pan to the flames. Here are the supplies and the tools that you will need. Measure the inside of the paint can. Mine is 4 3/8 inches. Measure the roll of toilet paper. Mine is 4 inches. I want the toilet paper roll to come right up to the top of the inside of the can. A post-it 3-inch square notepad is 3/8 inch thick and will almost fit in the bottom of the can. Mark off about 1/8 inch of each corner. Sand down the corners of the notepad. It should fit down into the bottom of the paint can without the corners bowing up. Remove the cardboard center out of the roll of toilet paper. In order to fit the roll into the can, I removed about 15 feet. Scrunch the roll inwards tightly, then force it into the paint can. Push the top edges of the toilet paper roll under the top overhang of the paint can. Adjust and move the layers of toilet paper until all open spaces are filled in. Carefully cut off the bottom of the can, leaving the crimped ring attached. Do not cut into the lid surface itself. Be gentle with the lid, making sure the shape of the lid remains flat. Find the center of the lid and make a small indentation. Scribe or draw a 2-inch wide circle on the lid. Measure out 3 equally spaced marks on the circle. A clock face template helps. Indent and drill a small hole at each of these marks. Cut out 3 3/8-inch holes using a small step drill bit. Widen the holes to 3/4 inch using a larger step drill bit. Sand the holes smooth. Sand or file the cut edge smooth. Using a propane torch, burn off all the epoxy coating from the inside lid surface. Wipe the ash from the lid surface. The burner plate is finished. Cut out a 3-inch wide by 15.5-inch wide piece of 1/2-inch hardware cloth. Remove the 3-inch wide end wires from each end, leaving long end wires. With the shorter vertical wires on the inside, wrap the wire mesh around a 3-inch diameter object to set the shape of the pot stand. Wrap masking tape around the top rim of the paint can, making 2 complete revolutions. Wrap the top of the wire pot stand mesh around the top rim of the can, close to the taped rim. Line up the horizontal lines. Thread the top end wire around the inside horizontal wire, starting at the bottom. Flip the pot stand around so the bottom of the mesh is now contacting the top rim, and wrap the end wire the same way you did at the other end. Don't make it so tight that the stand can't move up and down along the outside of the paint can. Slide the pot stand up so the second set of wires are next to the rim of the can, then bend the end wire around the horizontal wire. Continue sliding the pot stand up to the next set of wires and wrapping them securely around their corresponding horizontal wire. Then remove the tape from the rim of the can. Sand down the sharp end wires so they are flat. The pot stand should be able to move up and down on the paint can with a firm pull. If it is too loose, wind the end wires a little more. If it is too tight, pry a little between the overlapping vertical wires. On the bottom row, mark the 2 vertical wires that are in the center of the overlapping set of wires. Count 7 vertical wires to the right. Mark this wire. Count 7 more vertical wires and mark this wire. Count 7 more vertical wires and mark this wire as well. Cut out each of the marked vertical wires. Flip the stand and slide it down on the can until the 3rd wire from the top is level with the can rim. Place the can on its side. Place the screwdriver at the apex right above where you cut the wire. Tap the screwdriver down so the wire is bent inwards about 1/8 inch. Do this at all 4 spaces. Flip the stand over. It should now lock solidly to the rim of the can. Count 4 wires to the right of the first cut wire space. Then count up to the 3rd vertical wire. Mark this wire. Then count 7 vertical wires to the right and mark this wire also. Count 7 more vertical wires to the right and mark this wire. Then count 7 more vertical wires to the right and mark this wire as well. Cut out each of the marked vertical wires. Mount the pot stand on the can so it sits against your newly created stops. Then turn the can on its side. Place the screwdriver at the apex right above where you cut the last wire. Tap the screwdriver down so the wire is bent inwards about 1/8 inch. Do this at all 4 spaces. The stand should now hold a pot or pan about 1 inch above the can lip. With the pot stand mounted on the can, press each stop in so it almost touches the lip. If they stick out too far, they will catch on the burner plate, affecting its performance. Open up the largest outside bend on your jumbo paper clip and make the wire straight. Place the front of the paper clip into the jaws of a pliers up to the inner wire end. Bend the inside wire up about 1/4 inch. Pull the inside wire end out slightly so it is flush with the long straight piece. That way the lifter can sit on its side during the highest flame setting. Bend the back end into a hook so it can remove a hot burner plate. I wanted to be able to heat up a cup of tea, so I made these mug supports from 3/16 inch rod stock. The doorstop springs reduce the heat enough to move the supports with your fingers. Your alcohol cooker heater is finished. If you want a higher flame, place the tip of the lid lifter between the can top and the burner plate. The further you insert it inwards, the higher the flame will be. The heater cooker will hold up to 20 ounces of alcohol. Never refill the unit while the flame is on or any other flame is nearby. Don't use the original lid for controlling flame height. The epoxy liner will melt, creating toxic smoke. Be aware that in a bright room, alcohol flames are almost impossible to see, making it easier to get burned. A needle nose pliers is helpful to remove or adjust a hot lid. The closer the flame is to the pot, the more efficient your use of fuel is. The flame on low will easily boil 20 ounces of water. It will simmer water using just one flame hole. If you're heating with no burner plate, this flame is dangerously hot. Use a flathead screwdriver or coin to pry the lid off the unit. When you are done, place the original lid over the top, extinguishing the flame. Let the unit cool down for several minutes. When you are done, place the unit on the floor and step on the lid until it is sealed all the way around. I hope this helps you and your family.